Hey guys, it's Aquila, and this is a Lefty-Knitter podcast. It is June 23rd, and this is episode 39. I haven't had an episode in a while. Life has been a little bit of a whirlwind. The last video I posted was with Jen from the Blue Pelican, and I'm glad to see all the nice comments people left. Her shop is pretty wonderful, and yeah, I could buy all the things from there. So, keep this short and sweet. Everything you're gonna see you've never seen before. I don't think there's any new, the cow I showed, Hazel's sweater I showed, yeah. Alright, so you can find me on Instagram as aquilladahun and on Ravelry as aquilladahun. The links are always below. I always try to keep my project pages pretty up to date, so if I miss saying something, I have my little notes, but if I miss saying something about what the yarn is, it will be in my notes. So, I cast on socks for vacation knitting, which was the end of May because we went to the Outer Banks, and again, wonderful. And gosh, did I even show? I showed my Maryland haul. I don't even remember what I got from Jen. I think I photographed it and it's in my stash, so you can check for that at her shop. Yeah. I cast on these socks because, I never got sock blockers. Hold on. Okay, in YouTube world, that was like not even a second because you didn't know I was really gone, except I told you I was getting sock blockers. Whatever. Let me dig them out of this bag because I got a bunch of stuff all kind of shoved in here. So I started these because I wanted to have easy car knitting, and I was so addicted to the cuff that I finished the whole top of the cuff before the stockinette portion before I left on vacation. Let me put them on the blockers. These are, people will know exactly what these are once I show them because they're a pretty popular pattern. It's Helen Stewart, and this is Vintage Fairy Lights. So I finished, I don't remember which sock this is, but finished the top part of the cuff. It was so addictive. This yarn is Sunrise Fiber Co. And it's called Birthday Cake. I might actually have the label for this. Excuse me while I rustle through my whole bag of stuff here. I do have the label. Okay. Sunrise Fiber Co. It's not gonna focus. There it goes. And I've had this, I got it from like an auction style purchase. It's not focusing. It is the Indelible Sock Colors Birthday Cake, and it's 75.25. It's 463 yards, so it's a lot of yardage. I have two. I didn't put it on the other blocker. Let me do that. I love the way this yarn pooled. I absolutely love when yarn pools and spirals. I know there's lots of, like on socks. I should say that I like it on socks. I don't always like it in a sweater, but in socks, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. So I followed the pattern to a T. Pretty sure it calls for 1.5 because of maybe you're doing like this fun stuff, and then it's got a nice rib on the top of the foot. Yeah, so there's two. And yeah, this yarn did pool really, really cool on both socks. I like it. I like it a lot. This pattern I would probably knit again. It was really easy to follow. I'd never knit anything by Helen Stewart before. She's the one that gives you the percentages, right? And the check marks. Pretty sure, because that's what I have here. I'll tell you. It's got sticky stuff on it from when we went and got our apple uglies from Orange Blossom Cafe. Oh yes, it does. It has the check marks and the percentages. I really liked that. I've always heard people talk about that on podcasts, and I was like, I really need to try one of her patterns because I think that would be, it would be fun because you know kind of where you are in the pattern. So talked a lot just for one pair of socks. So there's one pair. Now, the second pair is finished. The ends are not woven in, and I know when I put these on the blockers, they are probably gonna have some gaping because I haven't woven in all my ends yet. These actually have finished project photos on Ravelry. The next pair does not. So I don't know, one of my friends on Instagram that I follow was advertising these socks, and then they were at a discounted price, and I said I had to have them, so I bought them, and then I had to have them cast on, so I went and dug through all of my stash extras, like, you know, the leftovers. Oh, here's how much I have left. I didn't weigh it, but that's a good amount. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it could be color work and something, or it could just go in a blanket. I don't know. Don't ask me what I'm going to do with all my extra yarn. It's just too much to think about. But this came from my extra yarn, so I could possibly use that in some sort of color work project. So I immediately bought the pattern, then I immediately had to cast on because I thought it was really cool, and I'm really digging color work. I did that cow, and then I did Hazel sweater, so I'm really, I was on a color work kick, really. And I have both of these, so don't mind all the ends. So, to tell you the name of the pattern, it is Not Your Average Cat Lady Socks by Emma Kerian. Kerian? K-E-R-I-A-N. Oh my goodness. They're like leopard print. Okay, I want to put the other one on the blocker because I kind of tested something. People talk about color dominance, and I was curious about holding one color versus the other color dominant on these, just to test how much color dominance I have when I'm knitting, just to see. Now I don't remember which one was what. Let's see if they look any different when you hold them up. Oh, there is a difference. Okay, on this one I was holding the darker color dominant. Let me try to move some of these strings. That's a distraction. And on this one, I was definitely holding the light green dominant. You can tell. You can tell in the video. It's a little harder to tell just looking at them. But I think in video or on camera, you can really see when stuff pulls or stripes. Like, I see it all the time. And podcasters talk about it. They're like, it does not look that stripey in person, but on camera, you're really seeing it. And it's the truth. There it is. Light green dominant, the darker green dominant. So the colors I used for this, the lighter green I used in a shawl that I previously made. Actually, both were used in shawls, just different shawls, not the same shawl. I don't think I have the labels. These came out of the scrap bags, and the labels could be floating around in the scrap bag, but they are in my project pages, so you can look them up if you need to. This one, the lighter green, is Primrose Yard Company in the zigzag sock, and it's a 75/20, and this is the Shamrock colorway, so I still have a lot of this left. This one I don't have quite as much left, and I was going to pick a third color, but I knew I was going to have enough, because I wasn't sure if I was going to at first, and I picked a third color to add in, but I didn't end up using it. This is Sanguine Griffin, which, the Verdant Griffin, the Sanguine Griffin, I can't remember if that's when they died together or when they weren't together anymore. I can never remember all that backstory type stuff for dyeing yarn companies and dyers. This was their Skinny Bugga base, 80-10-10, and this was Gardenia Hawkbee. A lot of their colorways were named after like bugs, I believe, but it was really pretty, and I thought it was a pretty cool, like a really good contrast. That's why I picked it. I would knit these again. These were on US 1.5, I think is what the pattern called for. I actually think I would go up to a US 2, only because of the color work. It gets really tight around the top of the foot here. So I would either increase my stitches somehow, probably not. And yeah, oh, and these were a cut-in heel also. I cut this in, which was really more difficult cutting in a color work heel, because you had two colors across the row, because there's not like a rest row where it's only one color on just a portion of the pattern. It doesn't work that way. So when you pick up your stitches, you pick up all your stitches normally, but when you're knitting from those, you're gonna have like long floats sometimes behind, and it looks like you shouldn't be knitting that stitch, but you do. You do knit that stitch. I think she might even talk about that in this pattern. And I don't think the pattern, even at full cost, was a lot of money. So you should really check it out if you really like these socks. She also does, I'm pretty sure this is the same person that did the banana mitts. They have bananas all over them. And the fruit, all the different fruit. You have to check her out. So she does a lot of color work stuff. She don't have a lot of patterns though. I think she only has a handful. But when she posted this, she's been also working on a zebra pair, and I thought that was really fun. But look how fun that is. And there's not many spots where you have long floats. I could take these off and show you. My floats are not the prettiest, but I think there's only 1 or 2 rows that I caught my floats because I didn't want to have too long of a float in some spots. Yeah, there's only like, I can see where it is, but you might not be able to tell. There's only like 1 or 2 rows, and I can't remember how many rows the chart was, but it's not many. I don't think I have this one written, or I think I was using it just on my Knit Companion app, which I had never used before, and it was really nice because I could highlight the row. The cat lady socks, the chart. Sorry, my throat has been scratchy for like weeks. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Oh, I do. I was wrong. I'm sorry. You do not cut the heel in on these. It's waste yarn that you put in, and then you pick up the stitches on either side of the waste yarn, and then you pull the waste yarn out. So you don't actually cut your stitches. And I think that's sometimes why I get bigger gaps when when it's a waste yarn like that. Like, I feel like I should have picked up 1 more stitch on each side so there's not as big of a gap. You can definitely see that it's like gappy. Can you see how gappy it looks? Well, to me, I can see this side looks worse. I don't know. It's kind of gappy. Yeah, so it's waste yarn that you put in. Yeah. These were really fun though. So if you like color work or you've not done a ton of color work, and you've done socks, I think you have to have done socks to be comfortable with picking up those stitches in the waste yarn. To make sure you're knitting all, I think it's like a 64 stitch sock. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. So it's, 32 stitches on each side. So you got to make sure you're picking up those 32 stitches. Jeez, throat. I'm sorry. On to the next thing. So those are the only 2 finished objects, and you're gonna see a little bit more color work because I told you I was digging color work. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way. I got a mess. It doesn't matter. Whatever. This was just easy work knitting, like during lunch. And I cast these on because I wanted to have new Christmas socks this year, and who knows if I was actually gonna have new Christmas socks. These I'm doing with my 9-inch circulars. Oh, and I did my vintage fairy lights on 9-inch circulars also. Yeah, and it was very easy to do that. I love 9-inch circulars. I love the Koigu, Chaigu, I don't know. 9-inch circulars. Those are the ones that I gravitate towards. These are also on 9-inch circulars. I'm trying to find the label for you guys. This is not a pattern that I'm following. This is just a 64 stitch sock on 9-inch circulars, US 1s. The only thing I am doing, so I've done my rib. I didn't do it in the rib, but I did it down here in the sock. Every 4th stitch when it comes to a color change, I'm slipping. So you can see I'm slipping those stitches. And I'm doing a tube. I'm gonna cut a heel into these. And what I think I'm gonna do, because these are the Fiber Nymph Dye Works, Fiber Nymph Dye Works. The Inversibles set, the Bounce Base, which is 80/20, Cranberry and Forest, 200 yard skeins of each. So they're matchy but mismatched. So this is the Frost, this was Cranberry and Forest, and this is Forest with Cranberry. So the stripes on this one will be smaller, and I think the heels I'm going to cut in with the opposite color. So I haven't even started this. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to go. I just saw somebody post not long ago that if you measure from the heel to your hand to the tip of your middle finger, that's usually about the length from, make sure I get this right, from your heel to where you would start decreasing your toe. So if that were the case, and that was, say, where I would start decreasing the toe, that's pretty far in a sock. That's a good length left for a leg, because I'm going to cut that in anyway. I will use here's my foot template. I'll just match it up with this. I don't know how much further I'm going to go. I'm going to have a lot left over though, because I don't like my socks really long. So I'll have yarn for my blanket, I guess. So that's that has no pattern, like I said. I'm just making up the slipping of the stitch every fourth stitch, just whenever it gets to when it about to change color. I'm excited though to cast the darker green, because the green is so pretty. I love it. All right, there's that. Oh, this is in my Star Knits bag. I love this bag. I love this fabric. I got this while we were on vacation. It's like Bowie Kitty. Man, I'm so sorry. Shove everything back in here. And the last thing is a hat. It's color work. It's by Casual Fashion Queen, who dyes yarn, but she also has a few patterns that she's written. I'm probably going to butcher. Her name is Sheena, but I'm going to probably butcher the name of the hat. Sheena McNeely. And it's called Acheron. And it's the... it's like some sort of moth. Yeah, it's a moth. I don't have, in her pattern, she doesn't have, that's the only picture. Oh, there we go. Lying. There it is. So I was going through my yarns trying to find two contrasting colors. Again, I picked yarn from previous projects. Gosh, I am so sorry. And the two yarns I picked were Ridiculous yarns in the Galaxy colorway. This is a sparkle yarn. This is Addy Socks, and it's a 75/25. This is On the Round, and this is Primrose colorway. Oh, I didn't write down the base, but it's 100% merino. And for a hat, I was fine with that. So this was in a sweater, and this was in my Camaro sweater. This was in my... Why can't I think of the name of that sweater? It's by Boylan Knitworks, and it was one of her early ones that has like the color work on the sleeves. That's really terrible, I can't think of it. But these contrasted really well, and I knew I had enough yardage of each. So I'm about, I'd say I'm halfway through the chart. And again, color dominance, I think my stripes would be more different if I was holding the purple dominant, but I'm holding the yellow dominant because I thought I would need that for this part, the yellow to be more dominant. So that's why I was holding the yellow dominant, but I don't know, maybe I needed the purple to be more dominant. But I think this looks really cool. I wasn't sure about picking yellow and purple together, but they look really nice together. I had like a hot pink that I was going to substitute for the yellow, but I think that would have gotten lost maybe because there's the blips of the hot pink in the purple. So yeah, that's everything I have. I have yarn coming. Paige the Framer was having a huge sale. like 50% off of yarn, and she had some DK weight yarn, and I bought it to make Casapinka, that colorwork sweater. Like I really needed it. And then Maxim Sear just put out the something roses sweater, or something roses, and it's based off of what David Rose would wear in the show Schitt's Creek. And if you've not seen it, you have to watch it. I saw him posting pictures of this sweater. Let me just find it. On Instagram. And I instantly fell in love because my husband John, you know John, everybody knows John, really loves wearing those country western shirts that are like the button down with the embroidered flowers that are kind of, usually they're like here and here. What?
Pearl snaps.
With the pearl snap buttons. Sorry. They don't always have to be pearl snap. Once and Floral. It's called Once and Floral. I was totally wrong on the name. So here it is. And yeah. So when he was there we go. That sweater is freaking amazing. And when he posted that with the colorwork flowers in the yoke, I knew I had to have it. There's some other versions, like this one is beautiful. Like he had some great testers. Look at that. So you should check it out. Maxim Sear, CYR. This one's really beautiful too, in the browns. So I think I'm gonna go to the Woolly Thistle and buy the yarn for this. And I think I'm gonna buy the Jamieson and Smith jumper 2-ply yarn. I've never used it before, but I think it would work out really great. And now I'm just really trying to pick out what colors I want to make for him. I don't want the body to be black. I think I would like a nice gray for the body. I also thought about brown. Blue is beautiful, but he doesn't, I don't know about a blue sweater. I think a gray sweater with like a cream yoke and like bright red flowers. Like dark blood red flowers. That's what I'm thinking. And Jamieson and Smith offers a ton of colorways in that yarn. So I feel like maybe I should let him pick out the colors. I have a better chance of him wearing it. And then it won't be our like divorce sweater. Isn't that what they say? Like something about like you knit your man a sweater and then it's over. It's just done. Yeah. I'm making him the sweater. This is happening. Do you want to come on the video? You want to say hello? You don't have to. He was already up changing oil in cars and motorcycles, and yeah, this weekend just already flew by. Just sucks. I also have a giveaway or two. I think I need another week or so to think about all of that because I've never had somebody gift me a pattern to gift, so I'm excited to do that. So I think I'll have to do a prompt and maybe do it on, I think I'd like to do it on Ravelry. The last time I did something on YouTube giveaway, I had an issue trying to get the YouTube random comment generator to work. So I think it would be much easier because they're all numbered on Ravelry and be easier to use the number generator. I also have yarn that Jen gifted me from the Blue Pelican, and you really should go back and watch her video. You really should go and check her out on Instagram. You get like sunset videos every morning, or sunrise videos and sunset videos. It's beautiful. I could just live down there, that'd be amazing. She gave me some yarn and she told me I can do what I want with it, and there's a skein, possibly two, that I would like to gift to all of you viewers out there. Yeah, that's about it. Anything, John? Nothing? Nothing to say? You don't even want to poke in and say hi? Nope. All right. Maybe next time. All right, y'all. Until then, subscribe and like. Go follow me. I have a Ravelry page that's not very active, but if I do the giveaways, you might want to join there too. If you go to the groups tab and search a lefty knitter, you'll find the group right then and there. And yeah, so again, on Instagram, it's aquilladahun. And yeah, knit happy, everybody. Bye.